Welcome to the reading of the Canton Repository for Wednesday, July the 1st. My name is Pam, and let's begin with the death notices for the area. Bruce Brown, age 70, of Strasburg, passed away on Sunday at the Cleveland Clinic, surrounded by family, after a long and courageous battle with primary sclerosing cholangitis and liver cancer. Visitation will be held Thursday from 4 to 7 at the Lake High School Gymnasium. Please use door 40, where funeral service will be held Friday at 10:30 a.m. Please use door 22 on King Church side. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service in the gymnasium from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Hopkins Laver in Uniontown is serving this family. Richard D. Sikansky, age 82, of Canton, passed away Monday. Friends may call Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Formet Clevenger and Gordon Funeral Home. There will be no service. Jean L. Skeely's cook, 94, passed away on June 28th. Visitation will be held Friday from 11 a.m. until 12 p.m. at Trinity Gospel Temple in Canton, where services will be held at 12 p.m. Reed Funeral Home is handling arrangements. Ronald L. Croston, 54, of Canton, passed away Friday at Altman Hospital. Funeral services will be held at 1 p.m. on Thursday in the Waltner Simchak Funeral Home. Friends and family may call from 11 a.m. until the time of service. Margaret Peggy Brown Engel, age 66, passed on June 25th peacefully with her family beside her. Family and friends are welcome to join the memorial celebration of Peggy's life on July the 3rd from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Umberger's home in Hartville. Reed Funeral Home is assisting the family. Joanne Weissel Gibbs, 93, died on Tuesday. Burial for Joanne will be private, and a memorial service will be held at a later date through Carlo Livy. Margaret A. Gottschall, age 99, of Minerva, died Sunday. Funeral services will be Friday at 11 a.m. in the Minerva United Methodist Church. Due to the current situation, the Gottschall Hutchinson Funeral Home will be open to pay your respects anytime Thursday from noon to 8 p.m. The family will be present from 6 to 8 p.m. Eileen R. Hardgrove, 92, of Massillon, peacefully passed away Thursday. Mass of the Christian burial will be celebrated Friday at 10:30 a.m. in St. Mary's Catholic Church in Massillon. Burial will follow at S.S. Philip and James Cemetery in Canal Fulton. The funeral mass will be live streamed on Paquillette and Arnold Lynch's Facebook page for those unable to attend at 10:30 a.m. on Friday. Per Eileen's wishes, there will be no calling hours. Robert Hines, known as Doc, age 95, of Minerva, died Sunday, June 28th in Altman Hospital. Following a private graveside service on Wednesday in Liberty Cemetery, a celebration of life will be held in the Robert H. Hines Stadium at the Minerva High School on Thursday at 7 p.m., weather permitting. Gottschall Hutchinson Funeral Home is assisting the family. Nancy L. Leeser, 79, of Perry Township, passed away on June 27th. The family will receive friends on Wednesday, July 1st, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Paquillette Funeral Home in Massillon. A funeral service will follow at 11 a.m. and be live streamed for those that cannot attend by going to Nancy's obituary at www.paquillette.com. Dr. Karen Dorman Merrick passed away peacefully with her daughters at her side on June 27th. She was 65 years old. A celebration of life will be held in Milwaukee at a later date. Brandy McCoy, age 39, of Louisville, passed away peacefully on Monday in her home. Funeral services will be 10 a.m. Friday morning at Louisville Christian Church. Calling hours will be 5 to 8. Thursday evening at the church. Steyer Israel Funeral Home is assisting the family. Jeffrey Allen Moan, Jr., age 38, of Minerva, passed away on Sunday. A private funeral service will be held at a later date. Bartley is assisting the family. Brittany Nicole Perrin, sunrise August 10th, 1986, to sunset June 22nd, 2020. Services will be held on Thursday at 12 noon at Greater Bethel Apostolic Church in Canton. Visitation will be from 11 a.m. until the time of service. Ada Elizabeth Shy passed away Monday at St. Elizabeth Hospital in Edgewood, Kentucky. Private services will be held at Memorial Burial Park in Wheelersburg. F.C. Dollar Mortuary is assisting the family. Mark A. Sidaway, age 48, passed away Monday. Cremation will take place and there will be no calling hours or services. Arrangements by form at Clevenger and Gordon Funeral Home. Bernice G. Speaker, services will be held Friday at 3 p.m. in the Fine Frock Gordon Funeral Home in Magnolia. Friends may call Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. before the service. Beverly J. Turbovich, age 88, of Waynesburg, passed away Sunday, June 28th, peacefully at home surrounded by her loving family. Services will be held Friday at 11 a.m. in the Fine Frock Gordon Funeral Home in Magnolia. Friends may call Thursday 6 to 8 and Friday 10 to 11 a.m. before the service. Please observe social distancing at all times. Jeffrey L. Umstead, age 60, of Waynesburg, passed away unexpectedly Monday. A memorial service will be Friday at 11 a.m. in the Craigbaum Sanders Funeral Home. Friends and family will be received 1 hour before the service on Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Social distancing and CDC guidelines will be observed. David R. Watkins, age 80, of Louisville, passed away Sunday. The family will greet friends from 3 to 5 p.m. Thursday at Steyer Israel Funeral Home in Louisville. There will be no services. Dorothy M. Dolly Weekly, age 96, went home to be with the Lord on Monday. Friends may call Thursday from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Canton Baptist Temple, followed by a service at 11 a.m. Lemuel is assisting this family. Well, that concludes the area deaths for today. Let's move on to our next article. Police driver aims loaded gun at protesters in North Canton. The Ohio Community Coalition was marching in North Canton and stopped at an intersection, blocking it when the incident occurred. In North Canton, police arrested a man for leaving his pickup truck and pointing a loaded firearm at a group of protesters Tuesday night. Dustin L. Reagan faces multiple charges, including a felony from the confrontation. His age and address were not available. According to a press release, the Ohio Community Coalition were marching through downtown North Canton and stopped around 6:45 p.m. at the intersection of North Main Street and Maple Street, blocking it. Police said Reagan drove a black pickup truck around, stopped traffic, and entered the intersection where he confronted the protesters. Police said Reagan got out of his truck and pointed a loaded firearm at the group. He was immediately taken into custody by officers who were on the scene. Reagan was taken to Stark County Jail on a felony count of carrying a concealed weapon, a misdemeanor for reckless operations, and a misdemeanor for aggravated menacing. No further details were available as of 11 p.m. Our next article. Update: Shareholders greenlight HOF Village merger deal with Gordon Point by Ed Pritchard. The merger will be completed no later than July 15, the company said. A merger plan between HOF Village and Gordon Point Acquisitions Corporation won shareholder approval during a meeting Tuesday morning. The agreement clears the way for HOF Village and Gordon Point to complete a merger the two entities announced last year. The merger could be wrapped up this week and definitely will be finished no later than July 15th, the companies said. Completing the agreement also means that construction work soon should resume around the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We can put shovels back in the ground, says Ann Graffice, Executive Vice President of Public Affairs. HOF Village LLC has been developing the Johnson Controls Hall of Fame Village. The limited liability company was formed by Industrial Realty Group LLC and the Pro Football Hall of Fame through its for-profit subsidiary, Hall of Fame Village. Gordon Point is a special purpose acquisition company. More than 97% of the Gordon Point shares voted in favor of the merger during the meeting, which took place in New York City via conference call. The combined companies will move forward to create a sports, entertainment, and media enterprise centered around the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The merger will help finance the second phase of development at the Hall of Fame Village in Canton. The first phase was construction of nearby Tom Benson Stadium. Phase 2 is expected to include the Constellation Center for Excellence. The project also calls for an indoor water park, field house and convention center, hotel, and retail space. Remodeling of the McKinley Grand Hotel in downtown Canton is also part of the second phase. It is expected to reopen later this year as a DoubleTree by Hilton. Work near the Hall of Fame started in March as crews cleared trees for the area where the Constellation Center for Excellence will be built. Constellation is an energy company and has provided financing to build the research center and office building. HOF Village has a third phase that includes construction of the Hall of Fame Experience, a luxury hotel with additional retail space, a performance arena, and multifamily housing. Gordon Point is a proxy statement filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission indicated construction on the second phase would start this year and should be completed in 2023. Work on the third phase would begin as second phase projects are completed. Next article, update. Lawrence Township to end the deal with North Lawrence Fire Department by Joan Porter. An impasse in contract negotiations with the North Lawrence Fire Department for fire and emergency medical services has ended with the trustees' decision to break off the relationship. Their long-standing agreement will end January 1st. North Lawrence's agency was working under a 6-month memorandum of understanding that ended June 30th because its most recent contract with the trustees to provide services to the southern portion of Lawrence Township ended December 31st. Trustees on Monday offered to extend the memorandum of understanding until December 31st and pay North Lawrence $45,000 or end it now. Later, Monday, North Lawrence's Fire Association agreed to the 6-month extension. Trustees at the North Lawrence Fire Department have been unable to come to terms on a new contract for North Lawrence's services. In their final offer, before negotiations broke down, trustees wanted to extend the expired contract to 2021, add $20,000 to the base of $90,000, so North Lawrence could switch to the same dispatching used by Lawrence Township, said the Lawrence Township Fire Chief Mark Stewart. The North Lawrence agency, on the other hand, wanted $134,400 for the first year of a 3-year contract, with an extra $10,000 for each of the remaining 2 years, he added. While North Lawrence believes it should have more of the money increased property tax levies have generated, Stewart said he cannot afford to pay what North Lawrence seeks. North Lawrence Fire Department Representative Richard Mortland was angered by the trustees' decision to end the working relationship and agreed to take the message back to the membership. He said Tuesday the township's decision blindsided the North Lawrence agency as contract discussions have been drawn out. They gave us no clue about it, he said. The North Lawrence membership voted later Monday to continue the contract until the end of the year because it doesn't want to leave residents in the southern part of the township vulnerable, he said. We're not going to leave our residents without EMS and fire. North Lawrence's revenue for operations comes mostly from service contracts with surrounding townships, fundraisers, and grants. In related business, trustees passed a resolution to work with Canal Fulton officials to employ one fire chief to oversee both township and city fire departments. The two departments currently live together at the Eugene M. Felmuth Safety Center in Canal Fulton and operate under a joint agreement to provide fire and emergency services for both communities. In addition, the trustees agreed to renovate part of the West Side Fire Station into living quarters. The training facility will continue to operate, and that station will begin to respond to calls on that side of the township. Trustees Les Kampf dissented to all actions regarding the two fire departments. Trustee Michael Stevenson and Sean Lockhart approved all of the measures. This next article is titled Fireworks Providing Pandemic Relief by Ed Blaylant. Fireworks sales have been phenomenal leading up to the 4th of July holiday. In Canton, Stacy Kowalski was loading her vehicle with $800 worth of fireworks on Saturday. Wearing a face covering and standing in the Phantom Fireworks parking lot in Canton, the nurse said the COVID-19 pandemic has altered her family's typical 4th of July celebration. Family usually travels from Georgia, Columbus, and Cleveland to Kowalski's home in Edina to mark the holiday. Not this year. Pandemic concerns will deter visitors from outside the state. We'll be missing the family, she said. That's the downside. COVID-19 has also meant no competitive dancing for her 12-year-old daughter. Vacation might be canceled too. But the public health crisis won't keep the family from celebrating with a colorful pyrotechnic display. We usually buy more than this, she said, laughing and gesturing towards her SUV. We usually have to put that other row of seats down to make room. Kowalski is an example of those both locally and across the country who are purchasing fireworks at a prolific rate. Customers were lined up outside the door early Saturday afternoon at Phantom Fireworks, thanks to heavy business and COVID-related restrictions limiting store occupancy. Face coverings also were required and provided to those who did not bring their own. Sales at the Canton store are up about 200% compared to the same time a year ago, says manager Molly Whitehead. This is our next article. There's no July 5th. William Weiner, vice president of the Youngstown headquartered Phantom Fireworks, said by telephone Friday that it's been a remarkable turnaround for the company, which operates a retail store and showroom in more than a dozen states. During the early stages of the pandemic, after Phantom temporarily had closed all of its showrooms, the sales outlook was grim for the 4th of July, he said. It's our Super Bowl, our Black Friday, our Christmas week, he said of the patriotic holiday. It's all we have. We thought our season was over because in our business, there's no July 5th, Weimer said. Regional sales have dipped in the past, but never company-wide, he said. Who would figure a global pandemic, Weimer continued. That was the furthest thing from our mind. So in mid-March, we thought it was curtains for us. We had no idea when things would open and if they would open. But once we opened our stores, we were shocked, Weimer said. All of a sudden, people started coming and our sales in mid-May were off the charts. All of this increased activity is pretty phenomenal. Subtitle, Giving People an Escape. Weimer attributed the surge in sales to 3 primary factors. The first is COVID-19. People have been cooped up, he said, and people want to get out and shake loose. They want to do things, and there's a whole lot of things they can't do. Also contributing is the upcoming holiday, as well as the cancellation of many community fireworks shows and events, Weimer explained. All of a sudden, the escape people have is fireworks, he said. We think that plays very heavily into the use of the products and the early use of the products. Not everyone in the industry is prospering, however. Companies supplying fireworks for public display have been decimated, Weimer said. Light up the sky. Aaron Schley, 54, of Robertsville, and his son Matthew Schley, 25, of Zanesville, are hosting their own fireworks extravaganza. Packing an estimated $850 worth of fireworks into a vehicle, Aaron Schley smiled at the thought of watching them decorate the sky above a valley at his nearly 40-acre property. And he got more for his money this year. Sales and discounts allowed him to purchase fireworks retailing at more than $3,000, the father said. Phantom offered him a fireworks smorgasbord. Among his favorite is Tropic Thunder. Matthew Schley is partial to classic Roman candles. This year we haven't been able to do as much, said Matthew Schley, referring to canceled trips, including a family gathering at the Arkansas Derby. So this July 4th should be special. Canton Trio. Steve Bialotta and Brandon Bialotta also purchased a bevy of fireworks. The father and son were joined by Josh Wright. All 3 live in Canton, but their personal fireworks spectacle will be done outside the city limits in a more open area. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, Steve Bialotta expects attendance to be lower at their July 4th cookout. About 15 to 20 people, and he's ready to put on a show. We bought way more fireworks this year, he said. This next article is titled Route 21 Butterbridge Road Improvement Project Underway by Stephen M. Grazier. The Ohio Department of Transportation is heading up the $2.3 million project, which is expected to run through late September. In Lawrence Township, a major U-turn project engineered by the state of Ohio that aims to help ensure driver safety is in full swing. A $2.3 million Ohio Department of Transportation effort is upgrading a section State Route 21 at Butterbridge Road Northwest, according to Ray Marsh, a department spokesman, who said U-turns are being built to eliminate a problematic median between the lanes of Route 21. The median has been a historic obstacle for motorists on Route 21, says March, adding that work on the construction project started June the 8th. The work should eliminate many vehicle crashes that happen in the median when drivers pull out from Butterbridge, said Marsh. They won't have to sit there to make the turn onto Route 21. Parts of Butterbridge Road will remain closed until mid-August, Marsh said. Those areas include Butterbridge between Erie Avenue North and Route 21, as well as between 21 and Wagant Street Northwest. The entire project is expected to run through mid to late September. In addition to the U-turn construction, about 800 feet each of northbound and southbound turning lanes are being added to Route 21, providing motorists with more space to turn onto Butterbridge Road, Marsh said. Contractor for the project is Shelley & Sands of Zanesville. In September 2019, ODOT expanded the shoulder along sections of Route 21 to prepare for this year's work, Marsh said. Lawrence Township Police Chief Dave Brown noted that the U-turns will be helpful to motorists and should reduce a number of crashes down the road, as crossing 4 lanes of Route 21 will no longer be possible with the median gone. These U-turns or J-turns will allow drivers to deal with just one direction of traffic at a time, said Brown, adding that people will notice be a paramount change at the intersection. It'll be much easier for them to navigate the more they use the turns, he added. Well, our next article states it's pork chop heaven at Maury's Place in Perry Township by Dan King. You've got to try the pork chops at Maury's. I've heard this more than a few times from friends and readers in recent years, and very belatedly made it to Maury's Place one evening last week. Maury's at 3305 Lincoln Way East in Perry Township is the kind of vintage tavern-looking place you could drive past a zillion times and never imagine it has commendable food. I'd ventured inside a few times over the years, but only for live band shows and beer. So, back to that mystical grilled pork chop. It fully lived up to the hype. Thick, juicy, and tender with great marinated flavor. The bone-in chops weighed in at 14 to 16 ounces. It is indeed pork chop heaven at Maury's. And there's also the affordable price. One chop with 2 sides is $13.99. A 2-chop dinner is $19.99. On Wednesdays, when chops are on special, the dinners are $10.99 and $16.99. Last Wednesday, Maury's sold more than 100 chops and was sold out by 8:30 p.m. I started the pork chops about 18 years ago, Maury's owner John Anthony said. I was thinking, what do I got to do to be different than other places? I started out having these thick chops on Wednesdays only, then eventually started having them all the time. Equally impressed to my friend and I, who enthusiastically devoured everything, was the 12-ounce Angus strip steak for $16.99 with 2 sides. It was well seasoned, succulent, and grilled to perfection. Ordered medium and delivered nice and pink. For $1 each, we added toppings of sautéed mushroom and crumbled blue cheese that added to the flavorful indulgence. Anthony told me he gets his chops, steaks, and chicken from Canal Fulton Provisions. The side dishes were stellar. The sweet potato fries, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, and served with cinnamon butter, were probably the best I've had anywhere. And the home fries, ordered crispy, were similarly addictive. The tossed salad of iceberg lettuce, red onion, and cucumber was elevated by the tangy homemade Italian dressing. The vinegary coleslaw tasted homemade. We probably didn't need an appetizer, but the bucket of breaded, deep-fried sauerkraut balls for $5.49 with Thousand Island dressing for dipping was delivered hot and emptied quickly. Maury's has an array of half-pound burgers for $6.99 to $8.99, including Cajun Blue, John's Hot Burger, Patty Meltdown, and the Pittsburgher. Other sandwiches include BLT, fried bologna, sloppy joes, Philly cheesesteak, and Italian sub. A steak salad with a 12-ounce strip steak is $11.99. There are Italian specials on Tuesday: spaghetti and meatballs, chicken parmesan, Italian sausage sandwich. There's fish on Fridays, beer battered fish or broiled scrod. 2 strip steaks for $30 on Saturday, and $1 conies on Sunday. Maurice Anthony said, "It's kind of like a dive bar, but we keep it clean. People come in and play Keno. There's a jukebox. It's comfortable. It's a neighborhood niche." A very casual, old-school place, Maurice has a long bar, booths, tables, darts, and a pool table. For social distancing, there was only seating at every other booth. I enjoyed the eclectic mix of jukebox tunes, everything from Johnny Cash to Buck Cherry and Nirvana to the Animals. Anthony, 59, has been working at Maurice since he was in high school. His father, Maurice Anthony, opened the place in 1977. Back then, it was more like a beer and a shot kind of bar, he said. In 1993, John purchased Maurice from his father, who died in 1998, and the food part evolved slowly. John's son Gabriel does much of the cooking, runs the kitchen, does scheduling and other duties. In addition to owning Maurice and doing much of the grilling, John has a full-time job with General Mills. While COVID-19 wreaked havoc on some restaurants, Anthony feels blessed. Our business was down only 50%. Carryout really did well for us, and 80% of the people who ordered carryout were new customers, and now some of them are starting to dine in, he said. I'm going to Maurice. I don't know about you guys. This next article is titled, "Former Glen Oak golfer Jessica Hahn earns All-American Scholar honors." Hahn's completed her freshman season at the University of Akron. Former Glen Oak All-Ohioan Jessica Hahn is one of 5 University of Akron golfers named to the Women's Golf Coach Association All-American Scholarship Team. Hahn, a nursing major, completed her freshman season with a 3.738 cumulative GPA. She played in 5 of 6 events for the Zips, had a 78.58 stroke average, and finished in the top 25 at the MAC Fall Preview. Well, let's move on to letter to the editor. Massillon Police needs to focus on speeding. The truth of the matter today is that the Massillon Police Department has totally abandoned traffic control. They have also completely abandoned enforcement of noise ordinances. Drivers are totally free to run over 45 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone all over the city and run with illegal and defective exhausts and illegal sound systems that rattle windows when they pass. Illegally loud motorcycles harass whole neighborhoods with impunity. There is no enforcement of the codified ordinances of the City of Massillon regarding traffic. None. The only thing the police chief can do is make excuses as to why. He cannot deny it, and he cannot deny that he knows it is true. This proves it. Through April 30th, the MPD has issued 44 speeding citations since January 1st, which is one every 3rd day. 20 to 30 speeding violations of 20 miles per hour over the speed limit occur on Tremont Avenue Southwest every single hour. And that was submitted by Scott R. Graber of Massillon. Well, that completes my reading of the Canton Repository for Wednesday, July the 1st. Please stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.